Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
And I'm Joseph.
And no Tyler over there. We have Pat Man instead. Tyler's out sick today. On today's review episode, we're going to be watching a Patreon pick from the Wheel of Destiny, Inside Llewyn Davis. What a trailer. A little distractingly missing from the cast list, Adam Driver, in this role of a lifetime in this movie.
Yeah. Outer space. I had totally spaced on it because I wanted to record my own version of what Adam Driver is doing in that song, where he's just, outer space, where he's just like interjecting into the song. I wanted to just record my own versions of that and just have it as a drop and just play it randomly throughout.
It's not too late. We can make it happen.
Yeah, let's do it right now.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Outer space. Too bad we don't have that like real Twitch production where we can pull clips live, and we need producer Justice would actually have to do a job, his job for once, if that was the case.
Yeah. Wherever he is.
Yeah, that bastard. So Inside Llewyn Davis, this is a 2013 movie from Ethan and Joel Coen, also known as the Coen Brothers. Also written by the Coen Brothers, starring Oscar Isaac, Carey Mulligan, and John Goodman, amongst many others. We have Garrett Hedlund, Justin Timberlake, Ethan Phillips, Robin Bartlett, Max Casella, Jerry Grayson, Janine Sorrellis, Adam Driver, Stark Sands, and many, many others. Yeah, he was the one who played the army guy.
Oh yeah, the sort of good guy, army folk singer.
Yeah,
guy.
the good old boy. So this movie follows the character of Llewyn Davis, as you might imagine, and this is a week in the life of a young singer as he navigates the Greenwich Village folk scene from 1961. And it's roughly based off of another character or a real person in real life, Dave Van Ronk, who's like a folk singer who may or may not have gotten his due in his day. And the Coen Brothers have officially stated that they consider the music from this movie a continuation of the music from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Another movie that we've covered on the show, and another movie that is very music-centric and is completely diametrically opposed to one of their greatest movies, No Country for Old Men, which has pretty much no music in it.
Yeah.
So, interesting that they made two separate like music-heavy movies and then one that was like literally nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the story of Inside Llewyn Davis, and the reason we're watching this movie is because this is a Patreon pick. And if you're new to this show, we have the Wheel of Destiny, which we will spin at the end of this episode. It's full of picks from Joseph, Tyler, who is sick today, and myself, as well as two picks from our Patreon list. If you want to be on the Patreon list, it's $5 a month. You go in rotation. And once we are done reviewing this, we're going to replace it with another Patreon pick. And we're going to do a complete full review on this. And Dallas essentially told me the reason why he chose this is because he doesn't necessarily think it's the best Coen Brothers movie, but perhaps the one that's slept on, the most underrated. So I've seen this before on a rewatch. I really enjoyed myself quite a bit. And this is your first time, right, Joseph?
Correct.
So why don't you go ahead and do your initial thoughts now?
Okay, Inside Llewyn Davis, a movie that I just missed when it came out the first time in theaters that I was interested in seeing, but I just never got around to seeing it until it was put on the wheel. And so this movie, let me find my notes for it. I've lost it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. I liked it quite a bit. And it honestly moves up an entire letter grade just because of the music. Because it is such a central part of the story and the movie. Overall, it comes into play when it comes to me grading it and how I feel about it, because it's just really good folk music. I mean, if you like folk music, then this is the movie for you.
Yeah.
Or if you're a starving artist and you want something to relate to, then also watch this.
Sure.
Because this movie is essentially like being the purest form of an artist, where your craft is for yourself and not for monetization or for fame or glory. It's not for anyone else but you. Mm-hmm. This movie really tackles that idea in a slightly different way when you put Oscar Isaac's character, who's in like a artistic limbo, where he was a duo before the movie starts, and his partner kills himself. And now he's just a solo artist coming up with new music and performing, but he is not essentially willing to change the way he does things to take the next step into being a successful artist. But he's being very stubborn while he's like going through a grieving process, and he doesn't want to sell out, basically. While he's provided these opportunities, I don't really want to do that. Like he puts his foot in the door for a little bit, but then he just walks away from it. And it's about keeping your integrity to a certain degree, your artistic integrity. And for me, that's something I can relate to, just growing up, like getting into like filmmaking and stuff, wanting to make something I want to see, versus what do I if I'm making it for someone else, then it's not going to be as good as it could be when I would make it for myself. There's a music producer, Rick Rubin, who is like a kind of an acclaimed music producer, and he's an interesting guy, and he's produced a bunch of music from like the 90s to now, and he has no like technical proficiencies, he just has taste. That's essentially what it boils down to.
Yeah,
like
he can hear what's going to be good and maybe coach to that.
Yeah, and obviously it's subjective. Everything like he produces or is a part of is like automatically good.
Yeah,
necessarily. But he has a really interesting quote about art in general, where he basically says the purest form of art is the art you make for yourself, and as soon as you make art for someone else, it stops being art and it becomes commerce, because it becomes like a transaction at that point. I'm making this for you, and what I'm getting in exchange is your attention and maybe even some money from that.
Sure.
Llewyn Davis writes and performs folk music because that's what he likes to do, but it's also because it's really the only thing he knows how to do.
Sure, yeah. He was a merchant marine for a minute. You'd find out he's a merchant marine.
Yeah. And then to add on that, he's grieving the loss of his partner, his musical partner, which might limit him more in performing the music that they made when he was alive, because even in that one scene where he's performing a song that they performed together and then someone else starts to sing, he's like, "What are you doing? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't sing his part." And
gut-wrenching scene.
Yeah, and I can relate to Llewyn Davis a little bit in the sense that like making music is the only thing that he knows. In my life, I've never worked in really any other environment than what I went to school for, which is for filmmaking, or a video to some degree, which is both like a gift and a curse, because it's cool that I get to do the thing that I went to school for and want to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like I have limited life skills.
You're pigeonholed yourself.
Yeah. If my career fails and I don't know, blacklisted from working in the industry, I'm fucked. So I haven't seen every Coen Brothers movie. I just watched No Country for the first time in its entirety. It was a movie that we studied in film school, like studying certain scenes, and like there was an assignment one time in a lighting class where we had to emulate one of the scenes from that movie. And that one's really good too. No Country.
When did you see that for the first time?
A couple weeks ago.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, that's a one that's ripe for discussion as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tangent. It's a movie that feels like it could have also been directed by Martin McDonagh, who did In Bruges or Three Billboards.
Never thought about that.
But yeah, that was a great movie too. But this one I think is up there for me personally. Llewyn Davis. Oh Brother, What There is really great. It's more funny than Llewyn Davis.
And fun in general.
Yeah, just fun and not depressing. It doesn't look sad, just visually. And the characters are more crazy. But yeah, I really like this. I really like that Oscar Isaac essentially performed and wrote some of the music for the movie as well. And he's got some musical background that we'll get into a little bit later. But
oh, cool.
But yeah, this was really good. I liked it a lot.
Wonderful. I'm glad you liked it. So I want to say this is my second time watching Inside Llewyn Davis. And the first time I liked it, but I think I was expecting something different from the Coen brothers. And that was on me. So from the perspective of No Country for Old Men, I can see how they've made this movie, having made that movie. But almost everything else that they make really has more of a fun sort of vibe to it. Even something that's as serious as Fargo that deals with kidnapping your spouse and blackmailing your father-in-law and murder and wood chippers and a potential...
Peter Stormare.
Yeah, exactly. Steve Buscemi's there. All that, and then just set in the most dour, downtrodden, frozen landscape that is the hellscape of the Northeast of the United States. Even that I'm laughing and smiling and chuckling to myself throughout the whole movie. It's not an outright hilarious movie with jokes every second, but it is very fun and funny and has a tone that just leads you to be like, have fun while it's happening.
Right.
All the supporting characters and even the main characters, Marge and Mr. Lindegard, everybody's is goofy. I guess that's the easiest way to say it.
Yeah.
Burn after
they have a quirk about them.
Yeah, and not necessarily just because it's northeastern nice or whatever they call that, Wisconsin nice. It's not just because of that, but just the whole movie and the vibe, the zhuzh behind it is goofy. Burn After Reading, goofy. Hail Caesar.
Oh, real
goofy.
Burn After Reading.
Yeah. So then you come into this, and there is some cleverness and there's some funny stuff. The recording scene with Adam Driver is one of the funniest situational scenes because it just comes.
No
out
offense, who wrote this?
I know. Oh, I did. That's funny in itself. And then he's watching Adam Driver's character warm up on the sidelines while they're talking, and they're like, "Who the fuck is this guy over here?" And then he just comes in, no prep, no, "Hey, nice to meet you. I'm going to be the guy doing the weird sound effects in the background." None of that. And then the producer in the other room jiving along. "Yeah, we got a hit right here." And you're like, what is this scene? That part is funny. And there's some humorous stuff to it too. But for the most part, it's very somber. And it's a story about grief, like you said. And you're watching this character, which you like, they can't get out of his own way. And he just wants to be, I don't know if he knows what he wants besides he just wants to be successful, or he wants to feel like he has meaning in life, because I think he feels what Llewyn is thinking is, if I just do this thing, if I just go to this one music producer and I just got to get myself in front of him, my life is going to be so much better. And I can fix what's wrong with my life. And what's wrong with my life is that my duo, my partner, which I'm assuming would be my best friend, is killed himself. And wrestling with that, I think dealing with suicide, being adjacent to suicide in your life is it's a very difficult situation for someone in the real world, especially if it's somebody that you're that close with and that you think, well, he was happy or she was happy in life, and I feel like I'm happier than they were and still and before, but they're killing themselves, and now I'm left, and I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Are they seeing something about the world that I'm not? And I think there's a lot of like complex feelings and thoughts that go through that when someone close to you dies via suicide. So he's negotiating and navigating all that. And I think part of it is just him thinking, if I could just do this one thing, I'll fix that part of my life, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. It's untangible, non-fixable thing that's not even a broken thing. So it's very deep in that regard. But like you said, it's like cooking with bacon grease or cooking with bacon. It's almost cheating to put that into your dishes because it's so delicious, it's so flavorful. When you put a dynamite soundtrack like this, these folk music, literally singer-songwriters as pure as you can get, playing throughout the entire soundtrack, and then also like long lingering shot, the beautifully lit scenes of just the opening scene of Oscar Isaac on stage solo, playing his guitar, singing with the spotlight, cameras just slowly moving around. It's like that, to make it look that easy is amazing. So hats off to the production team and the direction of the Coen brothers, because it makes you feel like I'm in this dark room watching this person on stage, and I think it's a lot harder than people would give it credit for to make something that looks that, I don't know, that earnest and that honest in such a simple setting like a dark room with the spotlight on it. You can see the glimmer of people's faces, you can see the people in the background, and just the kind of the atmospheric fuzz of whatever's floating around in that room as the spotlight is on him. And the sound mix is phenomenal as well. You can hear every moaning of the strings as he's moving his fingers. You can tell it's not an acoustic guitar that's ran through an electric processor. It's a mic'd acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
So you catch all the little small subtleness.
Imperfections.
Yeah, the imperfections of a live performance, which you can't get through an acoustic electric plugged in. You get some of it, but it's not the same. So
yeah,
I think the whole thing, watching it on a second time, this is a brilliant movie that it masquerades as a movie about music, but is really a movie about so much else. It's grief and it's self-importance and knowing yourself as well. Who do you think you really are versus who the world thinks you are? And does any of that even matter as long as you know who you are? So, and I think the frustrating thing for me is that you don't really get a ton of resolution.
No.
It's not a sad ending, but it's also not a happy ending. And it's
a little bleak, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the best way to describe it. It's bleak in its own way. But and I think that's much like life. You don't get everything tied up in a nice little bow. You have to be comfortable with being who you are and knowing that's not going to please everybody, and that's okay. So
yeah, there is like you could probably attribute it to the music. There's like a bittersweetness about it all. And then the movie is, because it's not so upbeat or has any sort of positive things about it, because he's just getting shit on throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, he's stepping in it.
It's like just like listening to like a sad album of music. Watching this movie is like, if I want to feel like somber, I want to feel melancholic, maybe I want to watch something, you could throw on this and
Sure.
you get that.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, that I never thought about it in terms of that, but yeah, I could see that. It's like listening to a sad album from start to finish.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sad and I want to feel sadder.
Yeah, Layla. Yeah, plug it into my veins. So I wanted to read a little bit of review from. I read a review from Fat Dude Digs Flicks, Andy from Fat Dude Digs Flicks last week.
Fat Dude Digs Flicks.
He digs flicks. Yeah, that's right. And a good guy, really nice guy, and a great film critic as well. But the most prolific film critic that we've talked about on this show, Michael Elliott, weighed in on this movie. If you don't know who Michael Elliott is, listen to one of our past episodes. Just type in middle class film class Michael Elliott, 2 L's, 2 T's. And this is a mythical film reviewer on IMDb, internetmoviedatabase.com. That every time I would find a movie, I'd be looking up something on IMDb, and I'd see this guy's rating system, and he'd always put 3 stars in parentheses out of 4 at the top of his rating, and then he'd do his little review. And he was considered like a top reviewer on IMDb or top critic or something like that. Mm-hmm. And we noticed he was prevalent. He was constantly doing these reviews, and he was always on IMDb, and he disappeared. He stopped doing reviews, and I thought he was gone forever. And then we switched to Letterboxd, Brianna and I, and we found that he had made his way to Letterboxd. He left Internet Movie Database in the dust, and he went to Letterboxd. And so I became friends with him on there. I contacted him through the comments on there, and we got him on the show. And just to give you an idea of the prevalence of him, in 2023, Joseph, do you know what your stats were for 2023 movies watched?
It was like 236 or something like that.
Okay. So 236.
I'm looking at his right now, and he's already...
What's his 2024 stat so far?
Him? Michael Elliott?
Do you have it pulled up?
He has 224 movies logged so far.
This year. And it's February 10th that we're recording this.
Yes.
My count last year was the highest I'd ever watched, and it was 621 movies last year. And I thought, man, I'll never be able to beat that. And I spent way too much time watching movies. For Michael Elliott's 2023, he has 2,237 reviews.
God damn.
2,000, and it's 2,024 hours. So I mean,
because he doesn't just watch them and log them. He also reviews them.
Yeah, he also has these like 4 to 5 paragraph long reviews about these movies, and guy watches a lot of porn, I gotta say. But over 2,000 hours watched last year, and in 2022, 1,800 reviews plus with 1,800 hours watched. So
we interviewed him on the show.
Yeah,
so.
we called him, and he's an interesting guy and a really nice guy, and he's been interviewed by the New York Times or USA Today or something like that too, because he watches so many movies.
So he is prolific.
Yes. So anyways, the scale, he does the Roger Ebert scale, 4 stars is his thing. And he does not do a whole lot of 4 stars, not a ton. If it's an absolute all-time classic, it's 5 stars, but I think it's only got 50 of those.
Yeah.
So Michael Elliott reviews Inside Llewyn Davis, 4 stars, perfect score in his opinion. And he says, when it comes to Coen films, I usually find them very good, but never at the great level. But this here is certainly the exception. Being someone familiar with the time and the setting, I thought that the direction did a remarkable job at capturing the atmosphere and the spirit of the era. The cinematography is without question some of the best you're ever going to see, and the entire look of the picture reminded me of the Freewheelin' Bob Dylan album cover, who makes a cameo in the movie. The soundtrack is also a terrific one, with all the numbers really jumping off the screen. Within seconds, you're caught up with the lyrics and the music. The entire film takes place within a week, which is just perfect for the journey that Davis goes on as he tries to express himself through the various ups and downs of his life. I really thought the screenplay did a marvelous job at building up the complete and full leading character, but it also quite excellent when it comes to the supporting players and their impact on Davis. The performances are certainly a major plus, with Isaac doing a marvelous job, and I really loved the way he brought his character to life, especially with the various moods that he goes through. This includes some very dark moments in the film, but also some pretty funny ones where his mouth gets him into trouble. Supporting players include very good turns from Carey Mulligan, Justin Timberlake, and John Goodman, who is simply divine in his small role. The directors have obviously put a lot of love and affection into the project, and it shines through during every single scene. And this probably is not going to be a film that appeals to the masses, but I appreciate those. But those who appreciate cinema are bound to love it. And I have to agree with just about all those points, Michael. The GOAT, Elliot says.
Yeah.
Because
goated
Elliot. Because I don't think this is not a crowd-pleasing movie. This is not something you put on and you're like, man, that was great. Let's give it a rewatch. Hey,
I'm on a movie high.
Yeah, let's show my mom and dad. They'll love it. It's more, hey, have you ever felt the ever-advancing crush of life and the weight of reality coming down upon you? Whether you feel like greatness is slipping away from the grasps of your reality, you should watch this movie and relate.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I feel about this movie in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I have a clip of the real guy. Do you want to hear it?
Of
what's his name?
Van Honk. What's his name?
I think it's Van Ronk.
Van Ronk.
Let's see here. Let's see. What is his name? Dave Van Ronk. The DVR, the old DVR.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put, this is just one of his better known songs played live. So far, sounds very accurate.
When I go by Baltimore, need no carpet on my floor. Come along and follow me. We'll go down to Galilee. Green, green, rocky road. Promenade in green. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. See that crow up in the sky? He don't walk, no, he just fly. He don't walk, no, he don't run. Keep on flapping to the sun. Green, green, rocky road.
Well, that's the real guy that Llewyn Davis is based off of. Mm-hmm. Doesn't look like Oscar Isaac. If you're not watching this on the YouTube or on the YouTube right now, you can pop on there. The link is in the show notes. But the guy looks like a more well-groomed version of the villain from The Dark Knight that steals the guy's falafel.
Oh.
Yeah. The guy from Sons of Anarchy with the long, scraggly beard.
Yeah.
Looks like him with a better haircut and a better trimmed beard.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, I love this song.
Yeah, but speaking of the music and Oscar Isaac and how they did it's all original music for the most part. And Oscar Isaac has a background in music. So it was him singing all those songs.
Oh, cool.
When you see him singing. And before, like in his early days and before graduating from Juilliard in 2005, Oscar Isaac attended the University of Miami School of Music. And during his time at that university for music, he formed a ska punk band called Blinking Underdogs.
Called Bart Scompson.
According to their MySpace page, the group's musical influences included Goldfinger, Sublime, Real Big Fish, and Fishbone.
Wow.
And Oscar Isaac sang lead vocals and played the guitar. So he is very familiar with music and writing music and performing music. And he even, not only did he perform over half of a dozen songs for the movie, he also arranged the song Hang Me, Oh Hang Me and Fare Thee Well with T-Bone Burnett, who did the music, I guess wrote the music for the movie.
Wow, that's cool.
He also performs a duet with Marcus Mumford from Mumford & Sons on Fare Thee Well, and which was the first song off the soundtrack to, essentially, it was like the single that was released before the movie.
Yeah, Mumford, he plays the voice of his deceased partner.
Yes, that's true.
When they record the songs from before they broke up. That's a bad way to put it. Before they fell apart. Oh boy. And that guy in real life is married to Carey Mulligan, the Mumford guy.
That's true. That is true.
I love Mumford & Sons. I think I feel like after I watch this, I want to hit the ultimateguitartab.com and find the chords for some of these songs, because this is like perfect. Hey, can you play a song? Yeah, sure. Can you sing? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, let's play a little ditty from Inside Llewyn Davis and depress everybody.
Yeah. It's the music reminds me of like Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young type music.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think about Crosby, Stills and Nash, but they definitely have that raw acoustic with harmony vibe.
The movie does like a whole wraparound story where it starts in the beginning and then it just, without telling you, it just goes back to another time, and then you're back at that club that you see him performing in the very beginning. And then he gets punched by that guy in the alleyway.
Yeah,
which I was confused about, and it's been a minute since we first watched this, peek behind the curtain there, and I can't remember why that guy just shows up and punches him.
So the night before that, there was the female country or like folk singer on stage, and he was heckling her from the back.
Oh yeah.
He was just in a bad place, and he was like basically talking shit to her from the back of the bar, and that was her husband, I think.
Another thing I wanted to bring up was his partner, Carey Mulligan's character, is like an ex to him.
Yeah.
But is still helping him in some way. But she hates him so much. She is willing to abort her child just because it might be his baby.
I know. She's no fucking way. I'm not taking that risk. It's 50-50. That's good enough for me. I'm out of here.
And I'm like, what did he do? What did he do that was so horrible?
He's just a dickhead. He's emotionally all over the place too. He's clearly got some sort of emotional insecurities or instabilities at least.
Yeah, that could also be like her type of character. Like she could also just be that kind of terrible person as well, where she just is.
She definitely doesn't seem nice in general.
No.
I like her character though. She's fun.
Yeah, she was funny, and their interactions were pretty good.
Yeah. When
he gets the cat from house sitting, and the cat runs out, and then he is holding on to the cat because he gets locked out.
Yeah.
When he loses the cat in the car, or he leaves the cat in the car. When who dies? Not John Goodman. No, it is John Goodman. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
he leaves the cat in the car. He doesn't go back at all, and is just the cat's just trapped in there with a corpse.
Yeah.
I guess the cat would have food.
Is that the cat or is that not the cat? Because didn't he found the cat?
They comes back and he
brought it back to the Greenfines, and she goes, "This isn't our cat. This isn't Ulysses or whatever."
Oh yeah.
She goes, "He's got balls."
Yeah, that part was a little confusing on like what was the storytelling aspect that the cat was served.
The Coen Brothers said that at some point when they were writing the movie that they thought it was a movie with no plot and it was concerning to them, so they threw the cat aspect in there just essentially to give it a little bit of a anchor.
Now I remember. Which it wasn't, obviously it wasn't much of an anchor too, because it's just like he's on the poster and like he's in a little bit of the movie, but the cat is not a huge part of the whole story.
10 years ago, Inside Llewyn Davis did the Argyle advertising campaign before Argyle did it.
Oh, yeah.
And they put that cat on the poster to rope people in that normally wouldn't see this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's just more of a way to allow Llewyn to take his lumps even more, because it's like he's like a schmuck the whole movie. He's just getting every turn, whether or not it's his own doing or not. The universe is shitting on him, and then he needs money really bad, so he records that Fakakta song, Please Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah.
Again, wonderful scene. And he's not like part of the guild or something like that. He doesn't have his guild card, or what was it? The Recording Artist Studios.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's some sort of, I can't remember. It was like, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? A union. He doesn't have the union card.
He's not represented.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Oh no, or maybe he's represented by somebody else, and he needs to get his manager to sign off on it. And he goes, "No, that's okay. Just give me the cash now." And he goes, "Well, if I do that, you're not going to have any residuals." He goes, "That's fine."
Oh yeah, he just takes
I'll take the cash. I'll take the one lump sum, and then later on,
because he needs it now.
Yeah, later on in the money, it's only been a couple days, and someone's, "Hey, that Mr. Kennedy song, that's going to be a hit. I bet you're going to make a boatload of money on residuals." And he just looks at him and pets the cat some more and cries to himself. But it's like that
missed opportunities and being impatient and stubborn.
Yeah,
will fucks him over in this. He fucks himself over.
Yeah,
a lot in this movie.
I was just gonna say half of it is his own doing and half of it is just the universe. But in that specific situation, that's just an example of how hard it is to live life when you're poor. Like, it's really hard to get past that level when you're like, I have to spend money that I don't have just so I don't get more poor, like going to the dentist. I don't have money to go to the dentist, but if I wait any longer, it's going to be 10 times the amount. So I have to, and I'm just not going to eat this week or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like I understand why he did it, because he's literally like every other night he's couch surfing on someone else's couch or sleeping in a car or whatever. And you're like, what a terrible existence.
Yeah, it is. And when we get to closer to the end and he's performing his song for F. Murray Abraham, Salieri, in the club.
He killed Mozart.
And he's playing the music, and I'm like, this is good. This is a good song. This is a good performance. He's not fucking up. I was afraid that he was like gonna have stage fright for some reason, but he performs it well. It's a great song. I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, that's good. And then F. Murray Abraham's like, maybe you'd be good in a trio or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's clearly good. It's like, why? But maybe it's just like, this isn't going to sell, or this isn't going to get butts in seats.
Yeah. That's Rick Rubin saying, you're good, kid, but you don't have it. We can't sell. We can't sell what you got.
Yeah. It was frustrating on that aspect, because he's clearly very talented and could be successful, but he just has to just let it go. He has to be able to accept, essentially, he has to sell out a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that quote from Rick Rubin's it's interesting, because I'm of two minds about it. There's, I've heard a lot recently about how you don't have to monetize everything you're good at.
Don't monetize your hobby.
Yeah, don't monetize your hobby. Or if you're a good singer, it's okay to just sing to yourself and not do anything with, not put it on YouTube or not put it on TikTok or, busking outside of the movie theater at the farmer's market or something like that.
People need to hear this or see this.
Yeah, exactly. I got this light. I don't want to put it in a bottle. I want to share it with the world. You don't have to necessarily do that. It's okay. And it's also okay to just be bad at things, right?
Yeah.
And I think that in our society, recently at least, you feel like you have to do the opposite of that. You have to monetize it all and get yourself out there. And that's how you find self-worth, is if I can make money off of it, then that means I'm good. I don't necessarily believe in all that. I think it's even better when you can just sing, whether you're good or bad, and just enjoy that in your comfort of your own home or around friends. And it's okay to sing badly in front of your friends too.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be like, oh, can you play guitar? Yeah, I can, but I suck. But you can play guitar. It's okay. I'm not expecting you to be a fucking Eric
You're
Clapton.
not good at it?
Fuck you. I know. You're my friend and you're not good at guitar. So now you're not my friend. So there's that. But at the same time, if you are a performing artist and that is your livelihood and that's how you want to be a professional folk singer like Llewyn Davis does, the ultimate goal is to make money. Be able to live your life and sustain your life off of this thing that you love to do, rather than punch a clock for the man and spend 50 hours a week in a factory or selling shoes at the department store when that's just sucking your soul away. And then you find a little bit of place to do what your heart wants to do. So I don't know. I'm of two minds of it. I wish him all the success in the world, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, you're worth more than that. Don't find your value based off of what Rick Rubin's Soliari says. You're good, bro. Just keep playing at those clubs, because if I were to walk into a nightclub like that in Greenwich Village and see that exact performance that he puts on at the beginning of the show, I would be over the moon with.
I'm sitting down.
I know.
I'm getting a drink and I'm sitting down.
I know. I would be very excited about that. I love it. It's so fun, but
yeah,
I don't know.
And that's where he is. He's just in between. He's in that sort of limbo where he's not successful. He is poor, definitely, but he's not willing to take that next step. And the movie ends without even giving us a sort of idea that he is going to do that. It's like, well, it wasn't like a character somewhere. It's like, hey, my big wig from Universal Music is going to be in town.
Yeah.
And then he's like, it's not. This is my big shot. It's not. There was nothing like that.
Yeah.
In this movie, the closest he got was going to that club when he went on that road trip, essentially to wherever F. Murray Abraham is.
Yeah, the Green Horn or something like that. I can't remember.
And that was like the big thing that he wanted to do. He wanted to show him his CD or his music, CD, 1961, his music, and it didn't work out. So now there's a scene of him going back to the Merchant Marines. Mm-hmm. And even them, they're like you need your license or your card or something to join back with the Marines.
Yeah, the Merchant Marines. That's fucked up. I mean, I really feel for this guy. He's just like taking his lumps, and I want him to just get a nice studio gig. Couldn't he just do that? Couldn't he just gig at a studio as a studio player?
Yeah, maybe.
He's competent enough guitar player. He learns fast enough. He learned right side by side with Justin Timberlake's character real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that would be really fun, be a studio player.
Yeah. I don't know much about recording music or anything like that, but I imagine like an artist comes in, we need a guitar player to just play this part for this artist.
Pretty much. Yeah. Like the studio itself has a set drummer, bassist, whatever. And you're like, I don't have to bring my entire band in. I'm just going to have live accompaniment ready to go right there. And then I'll bring my lead guitarist and my singer and my backup singer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. I'm trying to think if there's any other interesting trivia here. I know that some of the people that audition for the role of Llewyn Davis, Casey Affleck, Scott Avett of the Avett Brothers Band,
Scott Avett.
Yeah. Michael Fassbender, Ryan Reynolds, and Colin Oberst all auditioned for the role.
Connor Oberst, Bright Eyes, guy from Bright Eyes.
Bright Eyes, what's up?
It's the band, that song, The First Day of My Life. This is the first day of my life.
Oh, okay. I know the name. I didn't know who he is.
That guy.
Interesting, yeah.
Michael Fassbender, that would have been interesting.
Yeah. Now he
got his own music movie with Frank.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Reynolds, no, that would not.
Casey Affleck, I think, would do good for the whole downtrodden part of it, but I don't know. I think Oscar Isaac was a great cast.
Yeah,
great casting
Casey
choice.
Affleck had his musical movie with a ghost story.
Oh, because he's a DJ, the only true artist of our time.
Yeah,
Yeah. So they said the Coen Brothers' usual choice for cinematographer, which is Roger Deakins, was unavailable as he was shooting Skyfall from 2012. But Bruno Delbonnel, who is French, stepped in to take the position and was nominated for an Oscar for Best Cinematography, which is his 4th Oscar nominations across 14 years.
I can imagine like forming your crew and picking your like who you want to be your cinematographer, and they use Deakins for quite a few of their projects.
Yeah.
And just being like, look, like, who do we want? I'll just call Deakins. Just hit him up.
Hey,
So-
Roger, you doing anything? No, I'm shooting this Bond film.
what are you doing right now? I'm in Iceland shooting Skyfall.
Yeah.
What's that? It's a James Bond movie. It's coming out.
Yeah. It's confusing because they don't put James Bond, Skyfall. They just call it Skyfall.
They don't call it 007, James Bond,
Yeah.
Skyfall.
This movie was cast, since we're talking about the Oscars that are casting now, by Ellen Chenoweth. She could win an Oscar for this. I thought everybody was fantastic in it.
Yeah.
She also cast The Tragedy of Macbeth for them. She cast a ton, actually. Ballad of Buster Scruggs for them.
Buster.
Yeah, Hail Caesar also cast for them. Inside Llewyn Davis, as we
I
said.
forget that it's a Coen movie.
Which one?
Hail Caesar.
Oh, yeah.
It's so weird
Have
because
you
it's
seen
so.
it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
It's. I don't know. It just seems like I guess it is like very Coen-like, but no one ever talks about it. So
I think it's probably considered their least
good.
Yeah, their least good movie. I don't know. I liked Hail Caesar, but I like most of their other stuff better. So it's almost like shades of all different shades of great.
Yeah.
What's
as Michael Elliott likes to say, good.
Yeah, different
Not
shades of
great.
good. What's your favorite Coen Brothers movie? And then we'll wrap up. True Grit, Serious Man, Burn After Reading, Lady Killers, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, Intolerable Cruelty.
Didn't they do?
Big Lebowski?
Yeah,
Fargo.
Lebowski, I was gonna say.
Barton Fink, Miller's Crossing, Raising Arizona, Blood Simple. What do you think?
I mean, I haven't seen all of them, but looking at the Coen Brothers, there's a movie called The Coen Brothers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's no wrong answer. What do you think?
I don't know. Honestly, don't know. Macbeth was definitely the most interesting, but that's not Coen Brothers. That's just one of them.
Yeah.
I really liked Burn After Reading when I first watched it, just
Super
because
fun.
it's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh Brother Where Art Thou is really easy to pick because I've probably seen that one the most
Yeah.
out of all of them, and it's just I think from beginning to end just very entertaining and just very charismatic. So I'd probably say that.
I'm probably at a toss up between No Country. It's just No Country is so good, but it's just so heavy.
It is.
And Fargo, as far as the greatest. Fargo's got a lot more levity to it, but man, it's good. And I never quite realized just how good it was until I rewatched it again recently. But I think my heart is with Oh Brother Where Art Thou. I think that's my favorite. It's not the best movie, but it's my favorite of theirs.
Yeah.
It's such a fun movie. Such a delightful movie. All right. Anything else you wanted to say before we grade this mother?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and give Inside Llewyn Davis a grade, Joseph?
Ooh, I think it resonated with me pretty well. I think I would give it it's solid A.
Yeah.
Solid A for Llewyn Davis. It was just, I won't say, saying it was a delight is the wrong word because it's not a delightful movie, but I had a good time watching it, and the music is a big part of that A grade. And when you have good music like that, it just makes the feeling of the movie and the experience a lot more enjoyable. So, yeah, I think A. And the performances were all really good.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm almost bordering on an A+. I think if I was in a different place in my life, it might even be an A+. But that melancholic vibe and feeling like you have nowhere to go to escape the pressures of reality is one that I feel like resonates with not only myself, but I think a lot of people would resonate with that. But yeah, the music is great. The performances are great. And the cinematography, Jesus Christ, it's so beautiful. There's like single shots and scenes that it linger on that you're looking at it and you're thinking, I wonder how long it took to craft the lighting just to get this one shot. And then there's a camera movement and another camera movement. And it just, every bit of it just looks gorgeous. I'm not sure quite what they did with the color grading on it because it all has like a a muted
glow,
grayish blue color hue to it, but then it has that glow as well. I don't know. I don't know. That's maybe just like some sort of a filter on the lens or whatever. But yeah, fantastic movie. I think it raised very near the top of my Coen Brothers ranking, and which is, it's hard. It's getting crowded up there. There's too many movies that are like at the top of the list because they're just brilliant filmmakers.
They can't all be that good.
Yeah, they are. For the people saying that, they are. And the thing, and small tangent, the cool thing about the Coen Brothers is that you don't have one genre. It's not like if you make like Michael Bay makes very similar type movies over and over again.
Yeah.
They're different, but they are Michael Bay movies. And Coen Brothers make Coen Brothers movies, but the subject matter and the vibe and the tone of them they're so varying. They're really fantastic. I'm so glad that they're doing what they're doing because the world's a better place for the movies that they're making.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's it for Inside Llewyn Davis. Now it's time for the Wheel of Destiny.
1 wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is the Wheel of Destiny.
All right. Inside Llewyn Davis is off the wheel. And I do not have...
Yeah, well, do we have anything to replace it with?
Right off the bat here. My laptop is downstairs, so I'm going to give this a spin. We'll see if it matters. If it does, I will cut and I will edit the next Patreon pick onto the wheel. Okay, so I'm going to recap the wheel. We have the Patreon pick is off now. We have Blackberry, another Patreon pick from Javier. Hard Ticket to Hawaii from Pete. Mm-hmm. Rocket Man from Pete. Mr. and Mrs. Smith from Tyler. American History X from Tyler. And what is the other one? It was City of God. I got lost my place.
Yeah.
So City of God from Joseph. So let's give this a spin. Let's see what we watch next week. It's Rocket Man from 1997, which Brianna says is a Disney production. I don't remember that being the case.
Yeah,
but
I don't remember either.
Harlan Williams is the star of this. This is the movie where he goes to Mars and farts in a tube and
it's on the poster. Yes,
puts his suit gets all big, and this is, I think, Hollywood's experimentation to see if Harlan Williams is
funny,
a comedic, has the chops to be a comedic leading man, or he should be relegated to a side character, a la There's Something About Mary and Half Baked.
Harlan Williams. He's got his own podcast now.
I used to listen to his podcast. Is it The Harlan Highway?
Think so? I don't remember. I just been being fed that on my algorithm.
Oh, really? Okay. Because when I first discovered podcasts in 2007 or something like that, I used to listen to his show. And boy, that's a lot. That show is a lot. It's a lot going on. The mind of Harlan Williams is a very strange place. So I remember watching Rocket Man as a child.
Yep.
And thinking it was hilarious. And I don't know if it's going to hold up as an adult.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
This was a movie that I frequented a lot as a kid.
Mm.
So it has a place in my brain.
Yeah.
I have memories of watching this movie.
It's a movie that existed as a youth.
And I don't know if I should mention this now, but it just surprised me so much looking on IMDb that this was written, at least partly, by Craig Mazin.
Yeah. That was actually, I looked it up too. That's his first screenplay.
Which the writer and producer of the Last of Us series, and I'm sure other things, but that's
Chernobyl.
most recently, Chernobyl and The Last of Us, and this is where he started.
So we're gonna see the foundational building blocks of Craig Mazin's career. Should be a good time. So, anything else, Joseph?
Nope.
All right. Anything else, Tyler? No, Tyler. Okay, Tyler has nothing to say. Tyler is dutifully watching over the citizens of Gotham, Sacramento right now instead of being here at this podcast. But in all seriousness, he is not feeling well, so I hope he feels better. If you're listening to this, Tyler, love you, buddy. Okay, until next time. Oh, wait, hold on a second. We need to thank our cool-ass yard duties over on Patreon. As Javier Heather Sachs, Ryan Corbin, and Chris. And if you want to support us on the Patreon, hit us up at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass. But there's all kinds of other ways you can support us without spending a dime. You can go to the YouTube channel, subscribe there, watch this episode or future episodes on YouTube rather than on the podcast stream, because those hours, they add up. And we're making a big push into the YouTube channel, and it's great to see people watching our reviews and our gab and chatter and our produced videos and all that stuff. And Joseph puts a tremendous amount of effort into those each week, and I want to say it's 7 days a week of uploads. So is that accurate?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty close, yeah. If you're not getting a full-length video or produced video, you're getting a short. So head on over there, just Google and go to YouTube and just Google Middle Class Film Class, because the actual URL is stupid. There's an @ symbol in there.
Oh.
It's youtube.com/@middleclassfilmclass.
Oh, like a handle?
What are they thinking? Why would they do that? So anyways, until next time. Thank you for joining us as we review the Coen Brothers' somber classic, Inside Llewyn Davis. Follow us next time as we review Rocket Man next week. Follow us on facebook.com/MCFC podcast and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Middle Class Film Class and on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
And thank you to Patreon Dallas for your recommendation of Inside Llewyn Davis. I really appreciate it. And we appreciate all of our Patreon subscribers. We will see you next time.
See ya.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.